Back in Action is a Netflix film about former CIA spies Emily and Matt who are pulled back into espionage after their secret identities are exposed. This film stars Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx. I'm Chainsaw Reacts. This is my review of Back in Action. One of the main reasons why I heard about this film before actually seeing it was that Cameron Diaz was in retirement for several years, and I believe this was her first, if not her first, one of the first projects she jumped on after coming out of retirement. And overall, Back in Action, it's solid. It's a solid film. It's not original in any sense in terms of the actual plot of the film, but in terms of the actual characters, Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx, this husband and wife, former CIA spies, are playing, and their kids are now involved in everything. I think overall, it was fun. Had some humor, had some great action. I think the action set pieces are probably the highlight of the film, I think. There's some interesting dialogue, some cliche, but there are some interesting dynamics in terms of how they were writing the family, especially the kids learning over time, like what is really going on because they're just questioning everything because they believe their parents are constantly lying and like when are they ever going to tell the truth, and then things start to unfold in terms of the reveal of their identities. So it was interesting to see the family dynamic because I feel like if it was just Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz on the run without the family dynamic, without their kids, I don't think it would be as entertaining or at least interesting to me because it adds a whole new element to the actual plot and the story is they have to protect their kids too. It's not about just protecting them, it's about protecting their kids as well. The twist, if you will, which at this point, these kind of films, it's obvious that there's going to be a twist. It's kind of cliche at this point. It was handled okay. It could have been handled a lot worse, and thankfully it wasn't. But when this event occurred, and I'm like, the characters are freaking out, but I'm questioning, did that really just happen? And I'm thinking, something's going to happen, right? This is going to be revealed that this actually didn't occur, da, 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 and I was right. And it's unfortunate that I was right about that, but at the same time, I still had a fun time with this film. I still had fun. I'm curious how this would have done in theaters if this went theatrical versus being on Netflix, because there are some moments where I'm like, wow, like I don't know what the budget is, but some of these action set pieces that I recommended that I said earlier was the highlight. I was like, okay, they put some money into these moments for sure. Some of these moments I'm like, okay, like they're not skimping or trying to hide, certain action sequences or whatever. Like there are certain moments where you can tell the budget. They're trying to save some money in certain areas, but there are other elements and other moments I'm like, okay, they're putting some effort into this, right? Because there could be a version of the story where they didn't do all the crazy action set pieces that I think helped the film. I don't know if it would have done well in theaters, but I would say in terms of a Netflix film, comparatively, it ranks, I think, probably in the middle. In terms of quality, in terms of the story, in terms of rewatchability, I would say in the middle. I don't personally see myself watching it again, but I think it overall worked for what they're trying to do. With that being said, there are things they could have easily done differently. I think there should have been a rework on the script in terms of some of the dialogue because some scenes feel just kind of obvious and don't feel like they're really trying. But then there's other moments where there's some dialogue, especially between Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz's characters, and especially the kids as well, that I think really was some good moments that I think really just helped develop these characters and really showcase that there's a lot of more care when it comes to the family stuff, when it comes to the villains and the espionage and the everything. It's generic. That's where it kind of gets really generic in terms of the dialogue, and that's really unfortunate because if the same quality was there throughout the film in terms of the dialogue, in my opinion, this would definitely be a better watch because it's kind of a mix of like, oh, some decent dialogue here, some good dynamic, and then oh, here's all the bad guy stuff, and it's very generic, like run of the mill, and it really irked me. It was just kind of annoying me. I'm like, what happened? Like, what's going on here? I guess they put more focus on here versus over here. I think that's kind of what the issue is. And there are times where they could let moments breathe a little bit, but they're kind of rushing through at times. And I understand because this is supposed to be a thriller, comedy kind of film, so you can't spend too much downtime. But I'm not necessarily saying do that. I'm just saying maybe find a way to let certain moments breathe and maybe, not always feel like you have to throw in a joke at times because it's not always, but there are some moments where I feel like, hey, there's some good dialogue and some good dramatic elements here. Let's kind of stick with that. Obviously, this is a blend in terms of tone for this film, but I feel like at times, like, yeah, you could cut back a little bit because there's a character introduced in this film, probably around the second act or so, that I feel like he's just there for comedic relief. And I don't think it's necessary because Jamie Foxx is already there. Cameron Diaz, they're already there helping with that element, kind of blending and giving us some dramatic moments, some comedy, and some just, lightness. But this character clearly is here just for comedic relief and just adding like all these kind of jokes, and you can't really take this person too seriously. And I feel like it hurt the film a little bit. Some moments are fine, but other times I'm like, I understand why you're here, but I don't think it's necessary. But that's just me. Overall, Back in Action is a solid film. It's not something that, like I said, I'll watch again, but at least I can say, hey, I checked it out. It's pretty solid with Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz. I think they elevated the film for sure, because I feel like if it was maybe another couple in these roles, maybe it wouldn't work as well. Maybe it would work better. I don't know. But in terms of their chemistry and everything, I think it really elevated the film more. So that's a positive. So at the end of the day, had a solid time, so I can't really complain too much. Yeah, I had some negatives about it for sure. It's not great, but at least I walked away and going, you know what? Okay, solid, decent. I'll recommend it. But I also won't be saying, hey, 10 out of 10. I'll be like, it's okay, But if you're looking for some really solid action scenes, this is the film to go to for sure. The plot, like I said, it's not the best, but the action scenes are definitely what you need to watch in terms of this film. So I definitely recommend it on that front. If you're looking for some action scenes between Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz and some stuff that definitely will surprise you in terms of like, wow, they actually did that, check it out. Go check out Back in Action. That's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.